Okay, so remember when I showed you that pathetic dump I called a museum? Well, my friend Andy inspired me to do something about it. Today we are going to speed build my museum's new entrance. Hello friends, this is Peachie Llama here on YouTube and welcome back to Animal Crossing. It is a beautiful day here on Windlake and I'm all dressed up in my cute little work garb, my cute little overalls, and I've got my tool belt on me. We are running over to the Zen Garden. This is what I think I'm gonna get rid of. It's crazy, I know I just showed you and said, oh, I can't wait to see it in the spring. Well, I am never gonna see it in the spring because it's gonna go. I also mentioned in my tour video that yes, it was cute at times and I thought it was very pretty, but at the same time, I don't know, it wasn't my favorite spot. And Froggy Crossing said, if you don't like something, change it. And I think she's absolutely right. So here I'm just trying to figure out the layout of what I'm going to do. I want the main path to kind of go straight down the middle, and then I wanted to lay out exactly where the museum would be and line it up that way. And I wanted to add more cliff space to it because I thought having fountains would be really pretty around it. So this was actually the pottery area I forgot to show on my tour, but it doesn't matter because I'm getting rid of it. But for now, I'm shuffling everything around because I think, oh yeah, I can still keep this here. I can totally still keep this here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Can totally still keep the pottery place here and have a bridge into the museum. Like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it doesn't last very long. I haven't really used brick that much on my island, so I just wanted to try something different since I was going around the pottery theme in the beginning anyway. So I figured before I did anything drastic, I needed to go ahead and get the museum ready to move and a bridge to go across to the entranceway of the museum. And then here's where I realized no bridge I build here is going to fit my symmetrical entrance here to the museum. Given that the museum is 7 by 4, there's just no way I'm going to be able to have the perfect 2 pathway entrance to make it look good. It's either 1 or 3, and a bridge doesn't really work with 1 or 3. It's like it's 2 or 4. And here's where I decide, you know what? I may just have to frickin' make my own bridge and just get rid of the extra side that I added to fit the other one. And here's where I go for it. And I've decided I'm just going to stick with the 1 tile path as our centerpiece and just have a bridge that we make on our own. Ideas are in, the thoughts are there. I'm trying to figure out where trees can go and trees can't go next to the museum, so that really bugged me and I knew I might as well just get the museum put up, so we jumped forward a day. So now the museum is in place. And now I realize my whole fountain thing is useless and these snowballs are in the way. So I didn't want the trees to block the side waterfalls. So that's why I wanted them on either side of it. But I had to, instead of pointing inward for the triangle of trees I was going to do, I had to go more outward. So I repeated that on both sides so it's symmetrical on both ends of this peninsula sort of thing. Again, we don't put the bamboo trees back because I really want to hold on to them for later. And my gosh, all the snowballs were always popping up all the time here. So lately I've been doing this thing with these stone paths where I do every other one. So it's alternating just squares. So it's not a solid path. I don't know, I just like the way it looks for more of a garden idea. And that was my main focus for this build, was a garden. Getting out these hedges, none of this is going to stay the same. It's all just me figuring out as I go. I never really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. This entire build is me just winging it and then taking it apart, putting it back together, taking it apart, putting it back together. So my idea was to have more of like a botanical garden sort of idea. So I wanted villagers to be able to walk around, not just the main path in the middle, but on the other sides too. And this is where I decide I don't like the wood. I'm probably still going to change the path I put down. This is a temporary path I put down for the bridge. I just want to keep it stone, but a different kind of stone. And I love the way this stone pattern looks on top of the game stone paths. I just think it looks really nice. I will link the design here. I'm counting right now. I'm counting out the evenness. That was what I was my little steps I was doing. I wanted to make an even space within the single path. So this is kind of where I want the center point to be. I wanted to have a statue, and I was considering doing benches, and that's kind of the vibe I ended up going with. But I wanted a kind of a central area. I thought about a fountain, and I have too many fountains as it is, so I think going with the statue was a lot better. I have an idea. I also really stuck to the hedges this time. I think it's just because I wanted to have an idea of what the layout was going to be, and I wasn't really sure exactly what it was all going to look like. So I'm currently making a path that like I said, to go through the garden, as if you're just trying to look at all the different flowers that are getting placed here. That was my thought. So you had multiple areas to walk around in this entryway besides the main one. And I wanted to add some cedar trees to kind of break it up, because I had mainly the regular saplings around. This is where I realized the bench needs more space, because I didn't really pay attention to this until building this entryway, but villagers need to have one solid like block to be able to walk around. They don't, you know how we can slide through a couple objects that are like half blocks away from each other? Villagers don't do that, so they don't walk through those areas, which is why I got to fix my center courtyard as well, because they're not going up into the mountain anymore. But here I was able to make sure that they can still walk through this garden area as well as the center seating area, because that's important to me. I want the villagers to be able to experience the island, not just me because I want it to look cute, but I want it to be user-friendly at the same time. See, this is where Poppy starts rolling in. Poppy and Lucky have loved hanging out in this museum area already. So now I'm picking up all the red flowers. I'm kind of doing the rainbow that was on Reddit, I think, at one point, but not doing a whole field of it. Just the idea of just having each color flower in the game in a rainbow in this botanical garden sort of style. The placement was kind of hard just because there's only so many of each color. In the end, again, I think it turns out very well for what it is. For those of you flower breeders out there, what was your hardest flower to breed? I would say the one that took me the longest was the Black Cosmos. That one actually doesn't make it into this build because I wanted to duplicate it before I did put it into the build. So that will be the only one that will go in late. But that took me the longest, and what's crazy is that Cosmos is my native flower, so the fact that that thing took the longest to show up really surprised me. So I like the idea of kind of having transitional flowers, so I felt like the white pansy was a good transition from the white to the blue. And kind of same thing for the windflower, because the middle of the windflower is also kind of blue. And then I wanted to include the black with the blue because I thought the black to purple transition was really nice. So I combine the black and purples kind of in the same area, since I thought about having the black and whites together, and that just didn't work out since I put them kind of where the green ends up. I love the tulips and how bright they are, and I think my favorite may be the purple rose, because it's a very warm purple and I really like how that looks. So here I want to kind of like make a wall around the flowers. I'm not going to be able to do it pretty much the whole way around, but at least at the beginning part I was able to put some bushes in. So that's something, I guess in a way I actually don't have footage of the fully grown bushes, but you still get the gist. They're like halfway grown at the end of the footage. So you know where they are. They'll be cuter in another video. So the custom design paths I'm putting down, I will pop up right now. These are ones I use around my entire island for different paths, just different like off the main paths. I am thinking about changing a lot of my paths eventually. There's a few different ones I've seen online that I want to kind of adjust. So again, this is all kind of temporary in terms of the color of the paths. I may change it later, but for now I really like how this looked. There's Lucky. You see Lucky and Poppy just are having a blast right now, and I haven't even finished, which I thought that was really cool to know that the villagers could enjoy this area too just as much as I already do. See, am I not caring for the museum? And now I really do care for the museum. I think once you have the inspiration to do something, that's when you care about it. I think I just never had any ideas for a museum entrance, and I felt like I didn't have a space for it, which I didn't. I had to take away the Zen garden, but I think losing the Zen garden didn't bother me. At least now it doesn't bother me. It might have when I first set it up and decided the museum wasn't going to get any love, but I think now that I've been with the Zen garden for 6 months, I'm kind of done with it. I want to make it a better and newer spot elsewhere, and I think this just makes way more sense. So now we're in the next day because I wanted to see what it looked like when the lights were on. So I set up and added, I was trying the floor lights. They kind of look the same like the lights that are already on there, so I kept the street lights instead. I used the Turkey Day pedestals because they're very fancy, and just put some extra fossils on top from the beach, you know, because that's where all my extra fossils were hanging out. Oh, I love this already. It's so cute. So I finish up that tree. Yeah, you know, I'm just kind of finishing up. I'm adding in some of the stone and iron fences because I just wanted to break it up from the hedges because there's so many hedges. So I just did a couple changes, kind of to also keep with the bridge that is the entrance to the peninsula area. Just wanted to have some more matching items, and I think it just kind of brings the whole thing together. So this is where I'm debating whether I have the stone and iron fence before or after that hedge there, and I end up actually putting it on the edge of the hedges because almost like a gate. And I love I think it's the cypress plants, I don't know, but they're so cute. They were a great addition. So now I'm actually I haven't adjusted this part ever, I don't think. So the main terracotta pathways were the first pathways I set up on the island, and I haven't really changed them except today is kind of where I started. And that front pathway that leads by Kat's house, that has been there again since the beginning. So it was kind of crazy to adjust that and change things up a bit because I realized I could put the drinking fountain in this courtyard area. So I went with the brick all the way through just to change it up and have something a little different from the terracotta. Be like almost like a city park, because that's pretty much what this central museum area is looking like as it is. I'm still not sure if I'm a fan of the brown fountain here, but I'm going with it for now. I think in the long run it's worked out, keeping kind of the brown vibe I have in this little area, because a lot of what I do is just white furniture. So I thought it was kind of neat to be sticking with more of the brown furniture for this part of the build. Even though I wish I could move the fountain up more, it's just not going to work. So we're here to the next day because I wanted to be able to see it during the daytime. And again, just want to add some clutter to this area to make it feel more complete. Yeah, I really debated on that bird cage. I've never built one before, so I wasn't really sure what color, and I decided to go with black because it'd be near the pumpkin, so kind of bring in that fall Halloween vibe in this area on a minor scale. Butter churn, who's going to churn butter in this park? I don't know, but I thought it was cute. And the leaf piles, I've been seeing them a lot lately in videos, so I wanted to kind of add them in and see if I liked them because I wasn't sure if I would, and I actually really do. I think they're really cute for this spot. especially with the leaf patterns that are already on the ground. It just kind of adds a nice element to it. So here I want to expand on the just little corners around the museum. I wanted to just add extensions from the garden so that when you came through that terracotta path, it was another entryway into the museum area. So I see the astronaut here and I'm like, oh, the future with the past. So I made an astronaut guy. He's the first one. I've never made any of the star stuff because I don't usually have enough star stuff, but I did for this, and I made an astronaut, and I go back and eventually get my terracotta warrior, and I'm going to put them as outdoor exhibits because I thought that was a really neat idea. So I'm using the rope as like the kind of the exhibit sort of idea, which I really liked. I hadn't thought about that before. And so over here, I'm making the space for the terracotta warrior. So I wanted to have just the contrast of the future and the past sort of thing for the museum. I really liked how this turned out. And I've never cared about my museum, and now I really do. Put in some effort and you'll care about your places in Animal Crossing. So I wanted to do something else with that space besides have a tree there. So I'm kind of in this middle of debating of what could go there. And then I thought about how I don't have any representation of the paintings outside. So that's kind of what I started thinking about for that corner on the other side of the museum. I'm finishing up some decorating on this side, and then I come over here and I want to finish the decor. I alternate with leaves so it's not all just rocks. And yeah, so here I'm trying to figure out what spacing of paintings I want to do. And now I'm also just debating on like what the desk for the painter should look like. And I've decided to do the ironwood cart, I think, because I liked how it had books on it. So it's almost like a research sort of thing, but also just painting. And we're by the lake, so there's a lot of lake views to be painted. So I thought that was just a cute little add-on to have right next to the museum. I wasn't sure if I had a painting set, but I did, so I was really excited because I've never used it before. And Andy also inspired me with the painting area on her island. You should definitely check out that video because it's a lot of fun to tour her island. She was very inspiring to me, and again really pushed me to do something with my museum because she actually loves her museum and she's really into, you know, getting all the critters and all the fossils and everything, which I did get all the fossils, but that's the only thing I accomplished in that museum. So again, I care a little more about it now. So I might add a plant on that table eventually, but I ordered it on my Nook phone, and I'll add it later. Oh yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to put the extra painting. Yep, that's it. So here are the final images, the final scenes of these finished products. If you were inspired by this build, let me know. I am so excited to share it with you. I hope it gives you some confidence to build something for your entrance for your museum, because I was worried about it too at first, and I'm just glad I went for it and tried it because this is now probably my favorite spot on the island next to the fall festival. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content. I have a few island tours with friends coming up and a few more speed build ideas, and I'm hoping to get on a villager hunt soon. No one wants to move out yet. I mean, I don't know why. It's just such a great island, but I do want to get on that hunt pretty soon. Again, what villager should I pick up? I'm kind of leaning towards Teddy for the jocks. I'm still undecided for the smugs, but just let me know. At the filming of this video, we have 15 subscribers, guys. Like, I'm in love. 15 of you are here. Thank you so much for following along. And I want to have a shout out to the Wise Coyote and Minty Diaries. Y'all rock. I've really had a lot of fun following your work and chatting with you every time I post something. So thank you guys for keeping up with everything, and I'm excited to see what you guys put out. I'm gonna let these scenes run from this build, and again, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and share the video, share some inspo. You know, if you liked it enough, I'd really appreciate that. That would be awesome. And I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.